Welcome to Ball and Chain Podcast. This is episode 155, and I know we keep saying this, but we are back. We are back, finally. The last episode we recorded was, oh God, I think this is the first episode of 2013.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Wow.
So. But we're back, looking to get kind of back in the swing of things, and we're going to be changing it up a little bit. I'm Max Borningen, of course. I have with me It's My Angel.
Hello.
Who's not wearing her headset. That's okay. You don't have to wear it. That's fine.
Sorry. I forgot about it.
No big deal. So we're here to talk about some games, but we're going to kind of change things up a little bit. We got some feedback on the last few episodes, and kind of overall in general that the podcast sometimes gets a little repetitive with what we talk about. We talk a lot about what we've been playing. Sometimes gaming news gets kind of convoluted.
Who told you that?
Just random, just stuff I've heard rumblings over the internet.
There's rumblings?
They're more like little ripples in the water, I mean.
Oh.
But anyway, so we're going to kind of change it up a little bit. And I've been listening to a couple different podcasts and kind of getting their different ideas for different formats and how to keep it a little bit more
exciting.
I guess exciting would be one
Anger.
word.
Anger will excitement.
Well,
Anger will cause excitement in this episode.
We definitely found something for Angel to complain about. But let's see.
At least I'm passionate.
Yeah, passionate for now, and then maybe tomorrow it'll be the same passion, the same anger. Well, I'll have to ask you. That's the first thing when you wake up tomorrow morning. Like, are you still angry about this?
I will say yes.
Okay. So we're going to change the kind of the makeup of how we run the show. Before it was we did what we're playing and gaming news, and if we had a review or like any kind of like feature, whatever, we would do that, and then a wrap up. Now it's going to be kind of like what we're doing right now, kind of like an intro, and then we'll talk about what we've been playing, and then we're going to each have a segment to talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. So if this is going to be gaming news, like for me, or if this is going to be a review for Angel, like anything can happen. The other thing that we're going to kind of switch it up to is it's not going to just be about video games. It's going to be kind of encompass the entire entertainment
genre.
I guess entertainment genre. So it could be books, it could be movies, music, comics, it could be card games, it could be video games, TV shows. I don't know if I already said TV shows. Anything really.
Whatever. We feel like talking about.
Could be electronics, really anything, to kind of give it a little bit more of a fresher feel every week. That way, because I was going between, okay, do we stay a weekly podcast or do we go a bi-weekly podcast, or do we cut the time down to half hour and only, then do it every week? Or I think this way we keep it to basically 2 or 3 topics based on how many people are here, and kind of get with it. So.
And we're running on a new streaming engine website, whatever.
Oh yeah. Pour one out for Stick'em. They went out of business, unfortunately. That's where we are. That's where we started, which is amazing. That they've been around so long. I know the person that I listen to podcasting at the Levita Gaming started out with Stick'em as their streaming podcast, as their streaming system. So a lot of love goes out to it. I mean, there's a lot of shit that's on that website, but there's some quality stuff in there too. You got to definitely dig. So we're testing out, and it's going fairly well so far. I mean, Ustream.tv.
Are you able to see the viewers on this site?
I believe so. Yeah, this is the chat. Right here's the chat. We're in the chat right now. So.
Right, but what if they don't chat?
I don't know.
Okay.
So I don't know.
We'll have to see how this one works.
Yeah, that was the one nice thing about Stick'em, and we'll probably get to know this a little bit better too as it goes on, kind of the ins and outs. But A, our overlays work. B, you can see us. C, I don't have to. The nice thing is the audio. Actually, we don't have to have a third microphone, like a room microphone, like we did with Stick'em. With this one, it just I don't know why it didn't work with Stick'em, but for Ustream, it just pulls it right off of the mixing board, which is nice. So it's one extra cord I don't have to plug in or remove from the entertainment room. So it's exciting. It is. I'm super stoked.
Yay!
All right. So can you tell that we're excited to get back into it?
Eli says.
I'm excited to get back into this. I haven't podcasted in a long time, so I'm ready to get back into it. So
You like to talk.
I do like to talk. I mean, I talk a lot at work, so God, you'd think I'd want to shut up when I get home. Anyway, so let's talk about what we've been playing. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I thought we weren't keeping the segments.
No, we are. Well, we still want to talk about what we've been playing.
I haven't been playing anything. Well, Candy Crush Saga on
Candy Crush
Facebook
Saga.
and my phone.
It sounds so evil, but it's such a lovable game.
Have you even seen it?
Mm-hmm.
That's right, I showed it to you. I'm stuck on a level. It's really not a lovable game right now. I'm stuck on it, and I hate it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
We've been playing a lot of Magic lately, too.
Well, yeah.
We started constructing a dual deck. Well, I guess not really a dual deck. It's a joint deck is what I would call it. And that's not a marijuana reference. No, it's kind of a nerdy thing. No, we built a fairy tale deck. I'm assuming in lieu
off of my love for Once Upon a Time.
Exactly. So
new television show I've gotten into in the last month, and I'm caught up on, and it's wonderful. You should watch it because it's awesome.
It's on ABC every Sunday
at 8.
Sunday at 8. There you go. But no, we basically constructed this Magic deck around fairy tale characters. For the most part, we've got the hero and the villain from the fairy tale, and then some type of enchantment or artifact or a spell to go along with one or two of them. Essentially, I don't know. It's kind of a slow deck. The first time we played it, that's funny. The first time we played it, you did well, but the second time we kind of ran into mana issues, and it was it's a 4-color deck. So I'm thinking we're probably gonna have to drop a color out and drop a few of those fairy tale characters out, and actually make a little more concise of what type of win condition we're going for here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was fun building it, but I'm sure, over a couple of revisions, it can turn into a pretty powerful deck. So, anyway, let's see here. So, well, let's go ahead and roll right into the segments then.
Okay.
You want to talk? You want to go first, or
about
ladies
my
first?
hatred?
Yeah, let's go ladies first. So,
my rant. This is basically just my rant.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joe's been listening to a lot of podcasts, and hence I've been listening to a lot of podcasts because you play them so loud I can't help but not to hear them through the house.
Well, I tried to listen to the podcast from another room while sanding a ceiling.
Yeah. So, since I don't really keep up on video game news or any of that business, that's kind of how I hear about things. And for the last couple months, I've been hearing about the new SimCity. I like Sims and SimCity. I was getting really excited. Today, he's listening to a podcast, and they're talking, I think, reviewing the new SimCity. And I found out that it's out. So I go online to download it, got permission, was going to download it on my computer, had everything all ready, checked the specs. Yeah. My 2-year-old laptop, almost 3, 2-year-old laptop, doesn't run the game, and I'm pissed. Check Joe's desktop. Desktops are supposed to be better than laptops performance-wise. Yeah, that doesn't work either. So we're screwed, and I'm not going to be able to play my game, and it's a rant on how PC gaming should be obsolete because as soon as you buy a PC, only millionaires can keep up with the requirements used to run games on PC. So there's my anger rant on PC gaming and SimCity and how I'm really pissed that I want to play SimCity and I can't.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because...
No!
Yes, so would you...
Damn it, I need to stay mad and have a reason for it.
You can stay mad. You're more than welcome to. So here's my thought process related to buying a car. What happens when you don't research a car, when you just go out on a whim and buy a car? You end up coming home with a Chevy Tracker, and maybe a year and a half later, you find out that, wow, this car is falling apart and it's a piece of shit. And the slightest wind blow will knock you into another lane when you're driving 75 miles an hour down a highway. So then you're like, okay, it's unreliable, it's not safe. So then you do a little bit of research and you come up with, hey, maybe I should buy it. Then let's get a TT Cruiser. This has got all the bells and whistles, it's got style, it's got everything like that. But it comes down to, was it practical?
It was practical when we didn't have children.
That's right. So when we didn't have children. So think of it like this. So when you go into buying a PC, you're like, oh, well, I want to be able to surf the internet and do minor things with with online Facebook games. Pretty much any computer can do that when you buy it at that time. Now you're talking about downloading a full-fledged game that someone's designed as a game, not necessarily for your computer, but for a computer that's based on a game.
I played like Spore and Sims 3 and all that business on here.
Right, but the thing is, you bought your laptop around the same time that those games came out. So, like, I think what we need to do is a little bit more research, rather than we were on vacation when we bought this PC. Your computer died for some unknown reason. The cabin attacked another computer.
No, we sold my computer to get
that's right.
the iPad, and I decided that didn't do everything I wanted it to do. I couldn't play WoW and all that business, like play games, so we bought this computer.
Okay, exactly. So we need to do a little bit more research into what goes into a gaming PC that you want to, like, what games do you want to play? What is it? What's the requirements? Not necessarily the minimum requirements, because you always want to plan ahead.
Well, but the problem is with you've got that issue with, and that's why I'm saying PC gaming should be obsolete, because you have to do that. And if you don't want to spend $1,000, you know, anything that's just fine for games now, you're looking at like $500 or $600, which is a lot of money, more money than I really want to spend, considering other laptops you can get are like you can get a laptop for $279. It's going to be like the one I've got now and not run anything.
Well, the other thing too is you're talking about laptops as well, as far as gaming PCs. So you're talking a little bit more condensed, more mobile.
But if you were looking at getting an awesome gaming PC to play lots of games on, you're talking well over $1,000. There's no way in hell I'm spending $1,000 because I'm not playing the most high-tech games out there.
I understand. So that's why that's why I'm trying to play devil's advocate. We need to research before we go out on a whim and buy, like, oh, this PC, is only $400, and that's monthly. You're looking at the monthly payments on the thing, not like what goes into it. What at the time, it's like, oh, I just want to surf the internet and be able to watch YouTube and watch movies on it. That's all I want to do. And play the occasional Facebook game, whereas now you're talking about playing a full-fledged release game. And granted, SimCity doesn't seem like it would require that much, but when you're talking about a 2-year-old system, how far back does a development house have to take into account? Like, okay, people that are going to be playing our game probably have older systems. How far back do they go? We should have, before we started the podcast, we should have looked at one that was a Radeon 2X00 200 series, 2000 series came out, or when they were being used in PCs. So I don't know. It just seems like when we bought this laptop and when we built this computer, it was for a specific purpose, and that was not gaming. So anyway, anything else you want to talk about as far as
I think that pretty much settles it.
You still angry?
Extremely.
Oh, well.
Because I want to play that game, and I can't. And that's the only game I'm interested in.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see a consensus, like a synergy across all of these processors and graphics cards. We did
terrible.
We tried to figure out what graphics card we had versus the one that is required, and nothing lines up. Like, there's no Radeon X2 or Radeon X3. Obviously, X3 is going to be better than the X2. No, yours is like
Mobility 2400, 4200.
Right.
Dual processor, but they're requiring an i5 dual X2. Like,
nothing matches up.
No.
Like, come on, people.
Terminology is not the same across the board.
Exactly. Let's make this a little bit easier for the retards. I'll fully admit I am a PC retard. I have no clue. Like, it took me a while to set
like, based on 1 to 10, where does, like, do I want a level 8 processor, or do I need like a level 7 processor? Like, they put that rating scale on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's under like your PC settings on there somewhere where it says like between 1 and 7.0 and 7.9. What, like, mine's at like a 6.9, which sounds pretty good, but I think they need to like games need to include that. Like your graphics number on your computer needs to be at least a 5 or something to
have some kind of universal
scale
to make it easier or whatever. I don't know. It's just going to require a little bit more investigating on our part, and I think that's,
and money, which is not happening right now.
Anyway, so
Grr. There's my anger and passion for this podcast.
Sound like you're mad.
I'm glad I do.
Okay.
Down with computers.
As we record on a computer.
And I've got one up in front of me.
Anyway, so let's see here. So I wanted to talk about, mine's going to be a little bit lengthier conversation.
Because you like to talk. We've already established this.
Oh, shut up. So you can tell that we tried to get this started last week, but the basement wasn't finished yet. So essentially everything, including the couch, the TV, entertainment stand, everything was in this side of the office, and the recording side.
The couch was over here.
Yeah, and there was no way we were going to be able to record a podcast last week. So all my information is kind of outdated a little bit, but I still want to talk about it. So I know the PS4 was announced weeks and weeks ago, and the information that I'm going off of is that information. Essentially, I want to talk about the release show itself and how it pertains to what Microsoft has to do to win my next generation console money. To be perfectly honest, going into this discussion, I'm happy with my PS4, even though it doesn't get played very often. I'm happy with my PS4. I'm happy with the Xbox 360.
You mean you're happy with your PS3?
The PS3, exactly. Sorry, PS3. I'm perfectly happy with both of the systems. There's some things that I can argue about that I wish were better, but at the long run, it's a 10-year-old machine. It plays fucking video games much more than I can say for my PC that's less than 3 years old.
Exactly why PC gaming should be outlawed.
Not to tie it into your argument, but it's just one of those things where I'm happy with what I have. What can they do to make me say, okay, here's $500 or here's $450 or whatever it is? What system am I going with? So the first thing, let's talk about PS4. They talked about first that the one thing that they did show off. I'm going to be going out of order, but this is kind of how I wrote it down. First thing that I want to talk about is the controller. I absolutely cannot stand the PlayStation 3 controller, and I know this is a PlayStation 2 controller and a PlayStation 1 controller, but let's get with the times. The D-pad and the directional stick need to be inverted. That's just got to be the way it is. This whole twin sticks right next to each other, the only reason they have it like that is because the original PlayStation didn't have dual analog. So they're like, oh, we need to add dual analog mid-cycle, so they added the two sticks right at the bottom. Like, that's how they added in so it wouldn't interfere with their current configuration. And they've stuck with this since the PlayStation 1. Admit you're wrong, move forward.
It doesn't bother me.
It bothers me. It really does.
I hate it. I used to hate the Xbox controller. That was too big for my hands.
Well, that was the original Xbox controller.
It sucked.
Well, the original one
especially
was
the little white and black button.
Yeah, that was retarded. I will give you that. That was retarded. But the fact that they've made 3 systems and they all have those same, sticks, the same spot. I can't.
But the PlayStation players, that's what they know and they like. That's what they're comfortable with.
Okay,
There's people who are comfortable playing the shooters on those games because they're comfortable with that controller.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. But what I would like to see is someone saying, hey, you know what? We know there's other people out there that in other systems that have it like this. Make it interchangeable. Hell, the MLG has a controller where you can invert everything. You can move shit around into other places and it won't matter. And that's what I want to see. Like, okay, maybe the system comes standard with this controller, but if for an extra $55 or whatever, or hell, even for an extra $40 packed in, you'll get a second controller with this customization going. That's just something I would like to see, or at least them admit that, okay, maybe we should do it this way. The other thing that I found kind of funny is the light bar on the back of the controller, which is kind of reminiscent. is reminiscent of the Move controllers, showing showing off the camera and how it relays information based on where you're standing with the controller in your hand. So it kind of does away with the whole Move thing to some extent. They didn't really talk about Move, and on top of that, they didn't really talk about the camera. It was kind of like a 3-4 minute conversation about, hey, this is a light bar that, the system knows where you're standing, and, it identifies what controller, what player you are by that. I'm like, oh, that's all well and good. Like, let's see a little bit of a tech demo. Why would I want that? Or maybe a little bit more on the camera even. So the other thing on the controller that I was interested in was a share button. This has actually got me really excited. I'm hoping Microsoft kind of does something along these lines. There's a share button that allows you to share game video right from your console. So there's no need for a capture card and a PC to do editing, maybe with the fine-tuning stuff that you need to get into, but as far as like capturing the actual video feed and bringing it over to the internet, that's all done on the PS4. So that's got me really excited. You can go back and rewind, and it's across all games. Like there's not, it's not a certain game. It's built into the infrastructure of the PS4. So that's one thing that I think Microsoft has to take a page out of and really understand. Like, okay, this is something people are enjoying. With Twitch TV and YouTube and stuff like that, and how-to videos and different like montages. Yeah, montages were big, a few years back with Halo 2 and like Counter-Strike and Gears of War, but you've got to kind of bring consoles back into the forefront where PCs have been as far as capture devices go. I think this is something that needs to happen. The one thing that Microsoft I feel needs to do as far as stepping it up goes, use a already existing system. So either they need to announce some type of partnership with YouTube or partnership with Twitch TV or something, or Ustream, whatever the case may be. They need to issue some type of partnership with one of these companies. That way they don't have to build their own streaming service like Sony is doing themselves. If they can get the streaming down, or if they can get the video recording down right, that'd be great. One thing that I feel is going to be lacking, because I haven't seen any type of what do I want to say, quality from this department is that type of infrastructure on Sony's side. Like home, that type of infrastructure where they're trying to mimic the Xbox dashboard with parties and game lobbies and stuff like that. That just did not go over well. Let's see here. Profiles. They talked a little bit about profiles as far as linking to your from your PS4 to your Facebook account. That's all well and good. Everything's linked in. So I think I look to that to being more of a you're looking at SimCity stuff. Is that?
Yeah, isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah, that's why your PC is not going to be able to run it. Anyway,
this is a forum with people showing off their cities, and now I realize why my computer sucks.
Anyway, back to PS4. Thanks for interrupting. Awesome.
I'm sorry. I just.
Anyway, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about too, that I think Microsoft needs to get into, is some type of big name partnership. And like I said, YouTube would be something big, or for the streaming, that would be something big that I would be interested in.
But yeah, at the same time, you said that you don't like Xbox, like you don't want to hear about Xbox talking about new partners. You want to hear about what their system will run on their new system.
I didn't say anything about partners. I said they need to. Well, basically, what this is stemming out of is Sony announced a partnership with Blizzard, and they're bringing Diablo 3 to the PS4 and the PS3 actually, which is awesome. So I know there's a lot of hate around Diablo 3, and this is a garbage game, blah blah blah. I enjoyed it for what it was. Was it a full-fledged sequel in my opinion? No, it looks like it's pretty much new skins, new characters, and stuff like that. But it was a fun game. so like having that type of game on PC or on a PlayStation or a home console is amazing. That's exactly what I want. So I'm looking for some type of partnership to where I'm going to get an awesome game on a PC, or something like some exclusive that's coming to the Xbox. So Microsoft and Bungie went their separate ways. Yeah, we're still going to get Destiny or whatever on the Xbox 360, but it's no longer a cornerstone of Xbox or Microsoft's system. So that's the next thing I'd like them to talk about too, is like their first party titles, and how I'd like to see a new Fable game come back in the make its way back to its roots with Fable 1. That would be amazing. Of course they're not going to show like these awesome they're not going to show the next Halo. That's going to be more of an E3 type of announcement. This is your unveiling of your system, so you want to see, you kind of want to show what your system is doing over top of, PlayStation 4. I would still, like I said, I'd still like to see, a Fable. I'd still like to see a Gears of War. The other thing that might be worth seeing is, a Call of Duty game. Yeah, it's going to be across all platforms, but what are you doing for me as an Xbox owner versus a PS4 owner with the Call of Duty series? Microsoft has always had DLC first, so that's I kind of want to get that heads up ahead of time. That way, that's something that goes into my buying decision. I haven't bought much DLC lately, but if I had the extra cash, hell yeah, I'd put down money for some map packs, or I'd put down some money for the Borderlands map pack or DLC, stuff like that. It's just, that's big information that I want to know about. The technical side about it, from what I've heard already, the 8 gigabytes RAM is the standard, like for the PS4, and that's going to be the standard for the 360. I'm not really looking forward to hearing about Kinect, but it's going to be there. Like I can live with that. I know they're going to talk about it. I'm really hoping that if we have a new Kinect system, that it's got its own processor and it doesn't weigh down on the system. That's hopefully the original is still supported. We pretty much only use it for voice recognition at this point.
Well, Eli's got some, and he'll probably start getting more games as he's starting to understand like how it's used.
Right. I mean, like he loves. I mean, we play
Once Upon a Monster.
Once Upon a Monster. We played that one. He enjoyed that, which he might get if we break that out. He might get a little bit better kick out of it. But we played Skylanders, Giants. He really enjoyed that game.
Not that he really understands. He knows he can push a button and it makes something on the screen move.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like, and he, I handed him the controller and let him control it, and he was moving the left joystick to move his character, which is great. I mean, he doesn't know like, oh, I have to go this way to kill this enemy, but I know if I move this little, set of colors moves on the screen. Right. If I push this button, it creates this. So, you can see the wheels turning in there. But what kind of things are you looking to hear out of the Xbox quote unquote 720?
Have they made an announcement for that yet?
No, they haven't. Okay. No, they're still yet to announce it. You're not gonna be able to pull that any closer. Do you want the heater? Is that what you're looking for?
It's not putting out enough heat to warm me.
Well, what are you looking for as far as what would you say would like, okay, yeah, that I would
me to buy another one.
Exactly, yeah.
At this point, I don't know. I mean, it would honestly. I don't do a whole lot of console gaming right now. If there were some games that actually interested me, I would probably, I'm looking to buy. I'm honestly, even though we're not in the position to buy a computer, I'm looking at computers because there's one game that's interesting me for a computer. Mm-hmm. So it would take a game that really wanted to play. Probably as you said, from an older franchise that you know and love that. Comes out with something that looks awesome, and like Fable going back and being like a what it used to be. Mm-hmm. Or it'd probably take like an amazing graphics demonstration and seeing some games advertised using that would really take me to get there.
One thing that I would like to see is, as far as downloadable games go, because this is going to be a big part of games going forward, is downloading games. And Microsoft already has a pretty, like, a stranglehold on, like, the Xbox Live Arcade and kind of like the downloading games to console. One thing that I would like them to see is, rather than doing a trial version of the game, is just downloading the whole game, and you get maybe like a timed exclusive. Like, okay, you get 2 hours to play this game. Ready, set, go. And rather than playing like a sliver of the game, you get to play, the first 2 hours of the game. If you like that first 2 hours of the game, you press, X button to purchase it, and there you go. You've already got it downloaded. You're just basically unlocking unlocking the digital rights to play it. The other thing that I might be interested in, to tell you the truth, is something kind of like what Sony's got going on with PlayStation Plus, where you can rent a game. They kind of have like a game of the month where you can download it and play it for that month or whatever. I would like to see that come to the Xbox, as far as like, okay, the game of the month is this for Xbox Live Gold members. You can download it for free and play it all you want this month.
I will say, if PlayStation came out with another Uncharted, I would definitely have to get a PlayStation 4.
They didn't mention anything about Uncharted during the press conference, which
right.
That's one of those things that's going to be E3, like, guaranteed. Just like what I said with Halo, like, it's their quote unquote biggest title. One of the, Sony's got a couple others, but Uncharted seems to be the most recognizable as far as like adult fun. On a side note, this is actually kind of
Killzone 1 sucked before.
Yeah, exactly. But this is kind of related.
What about with Killzone 3?
They already did come out with Killzone 3.
4. I don't know, whatever the next one is.
They did talk about Killzone 4, actually.
See, now it's the further the song.
Exactly. But in reference to Uncharted, they recently let the multiplayer go free to play online. So, like, if you don't own the game, you can go play Uncharted's multiplayer for free right now if you own a PS3, which is awesome. Breaking, and we talked about this on past podcasts, like breaking the game up into two entities, like the single player and the multiplayer aspect. So, like Call of Duty, I usually don't play the single player Call of Duty, so like if I could buy the multiplayer for $35, $40 or whatever, I might just do that instead of dropping $65 for both. For Halo, I'd want both, the story and stuff like that. So that way it gives players an opportunity to choose what they're wanting to buy. So if you think about it, if I've got two games where I'm choosing, like, okay, I'm going to spend $35 on this multiplayer and $35 on this multiplayer, or I'm going to buy one of them, for the PS3 or the 360. Nowadays, I only got $60 to spend. Okay, I'm only going to buy one. You're getting 60 of my dollars, and that's it. Whereas if you cut it off at 35, I'll buy both multiplayers, and you got 70 of my bucks.
Right.
So, but anyway, so I mean, in my opinion, one way that Microsoft is going to be able, throw down the gauntlet and say, this is what we're doing, they have to have the same same or better streaming recording as the PS3 or PS4 does. Along those lines, actually, we just did the Black Ops 2 Twitch TV thing, where Black Ops 2 is already doing it. All you have to do is hit, link your two accounts, and it automatically streams over the internet. It'll post it to Facebook, so you can stream your videos live online. It tells you how many people are watching you. It's pretty sweet. So that would be one thing that I'd be looking forward to. Really, I mean, just a little bit quicker on the quicker dashboard, quicker loading times and stuff like that. Better AI is what I'm hoping for, and a lot of this is dealing with games, as far as the games go, not necessarily like what features am I looking for. I guess better processor. It all comes down to the goddamn processor.
Damn processors.
Yeah. So
and graphics.
Anyway, So is there anything else you want to cover before we close out episode 155?
No, just that I think my anger is subsiding into more disappointment. Earlier, I felt like I could flop face down like Eli.
Oh boy.
Especially that. Well, that was more so after learning that your PC wouldn't even run my game.
Sad face.
Wicked sad face. Like, I'd have tempted just to download the damn thing and just hope it works.
And then when it doesn't work and we go buy another PC, we're going to have to buy it again. No, don't do that.
I'm not going to.
Anyway. Alright, guys. Well, this was episode 155. We are back. We'll be back next Thursday. Or, God, Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. It's going to be the regular schedule going forward. Tuesday at 10. This looks like this one lasted just about 40 minutes. So that's probably about where we're going to sit from going forward. Of course, if we have a third guest or whatever, it's probably going to go a little bit longer. But, feels pretty good. Check out the podcast website, ballandchainpodcast.podbean. That's podbean.com. It's where you can download all of our past shows up to a certain point. I haven't had a chance to go back and upload the earlier ones, but all the recent ones are up there. You should be able to download this one shortly after the show finishes up. If you'd like to watch us live, you can go to ustream.tv /channel/BC podcast. That's where we're at. Other than that, as far as the website goes, 72dpionline.com is still up and running. We've ran into a little hiccup as far as the clan goes, but I think we're going to pull through just fine. So it's just going to require a little bit of restructuring. So
yeah.
Anyway, we will catch you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
See ya.